Uganda basketball fraternity had 2 dead years on the local scene but managed to write success stories on the continent. The male national team side, Silverbacks, finished 6th at the Afro Basket, a continental showpiece, but on a sad note, the female team, Gazelles, failed to honor their games due to financial troubles. Up to speed, the long wait of the National Basketball League return ended yesterday with 2 games. A female encounter that saw KCCA Leopards take on KIU Rangers at Lugogo Indoor Arena shortly before the defending champions, City Oilers, welcomed new boys in Blazers. With all these developments and forthcoming national team engagements, Nnalubaale Sports had a one-on-one interview with Federation of Uganda Basketball Association President Nasser Sserunjogi. He spoke about the good, bad and ugly, not forgetting the way forward.
Managing any sports federation in Uganda here is quite a challenge. It is quite challenging, as you're all aware that we have funding challenges, and without the funding then it becomes very hard for you to achieve success. But amidst all those challenges and the COVID-19 pandemic, we have tried as much as possible to make sure that we remain afloat as basketball, to be visible under all circumstances. When we came into office in 2019, that was our first year into office, we had a very wonderful season or basketball year, and we had a couple of tournaments. We had the under-16s that went to Kigali Afro Basket finals. Then we had the Afro Chan that was here in Lugogo. And then of course we had our different leagues that really did very well that particular year. And then come 2020, of course, COVID-19 pandemic hit everyone. And at the same time, we had to engage into the Afro Basket qualifiers. We started our journey in 2020 November in Egypt, Alexandria, where we went and did very well. We won 2 games out of 3 after beating Cape Verde and Morocco against all odds. But of course we had some funding challenges. Yes, we were funded by the government, but the money came a bit late, because I must say that we received that money when we came back here. But we thank the government again for coming through, because they supported us for that campaign. We had our second window, which was in February of 2021, and that was in Tunisia, Monastir. Again, we were 100% supported by the government of Uganda through NCS, and we thank them for that. Unfortunately, when we went to Tunisia, we had troubles of COVID-19. Our camp was hit with COVID-19 until the last day when we were actually supposed to play our opening game against Egypt. That is when FIBA informed us that because we had cases of COVID-19 in our camp, it was risky for us to play the games. And although those affected persons had been isolated and all that, but FIBA made a decision that we couldn't play. It was a very trying moment for us, because by the time we received that information, the remaining part of the team had actually dressed up, and we were on our way to the bus. The bus had packed, waiting for us to go for the game against Egypt. And I received an email from FIBA saying, no, your games have been cancelled and you're out of the tournament. I can tell you that some players even cried, because
I know it's hard to take it.
We thought that was the end of the road for us. We didn't know what was happening next. That very day in the evening, late in the night, we had discussions with the FIBA officials, and they were telling us that we are out of the tournament and they don't know what is going to happen next. But of course, we had to come back here. They told us that we had to leave immediately. We had to come back here. Some of the officials and players who had been affected had to stay behind until their results turned negative. So we had no choice but to leave them behind. But we kept on monitoring and trying to take care of them. Eventually they were cleared and they all came back here. We kept on engaging FIBA and until they gave us an opportunity to say, okay, we know it wasn't your fault that COVID-19 happened, so we are giving you an opportunity to play against Cape Verde and Morocco. Because Egypt had won all its games, they had automatically qualified, so they moved Egypt out of the equation and they said, okay, Uganda, Morocco, Cape Verde have to play against each other. Now Morocco and Cape Verde said, for us, we are not traveling. If you FIBA want us to play, Uganda has to come here. And of course, they were justified. They had a justification for that because they were saying, for us, we went to Tunisia, we spent money. If Uganda had COVID, then it is not our problem. So we can't spend more money to travel again. So if you want us to play, they have to come here. So FIBA sends us a circular and says, okay, you're going to play, but you have to travel to these countries. Go to Morocco, then go to Cape Verde. We said we have no option. We want to play, we want to qualify, and we knew we had a very strong team that could actually beat those teams in their home ground and qualify. We said, and we needed only one win. And FIBA said, since you need only one win, if you win in Morocco, you don't go to Cape Verde. If you lose in Morocco, then you have to go to Cape Verde. So we said we shall go. So we communicate to NCS and government that we have been given a lifeline here. We have to go to Morocco and Cape Verde and play. So they tell us the timing is not good. We don't have money at the moment. So we were in a very tricky situation. Government is telling you we don't have money. You've been given a lifeline. It's only one game you need. You're very confident and sure that your team can go and win. What do? Do you pull out and put to waste all the effort that you did in Alexandria, Monastir, and the money spent and the time and all that? As a leader, of course, you can't just sit back and give up like that, because at the end of the day, it is your administration that everyone is looking at. They are going to say that your administration has failed, so you need to fight. No one is going to say that government didn't give you money. It is your administration at the end of the day. So I had to take a risk. I said, no, we have to do something. I took a risk and said we are going to borrow money.
Money lender.
So we went ahead, borrowed money. Thank God we went to Morocco and won, because what was at the back of my mind was that, okay, you're borrowing this money and going to Morocco. What if you don't win? And you go to Cape Verde and you also don't win. What are you going to do? My conviction was that I know government has not approved the borrowing officially, but if I go and win and qualify for Afro Basket, they will definitely pay back this money. That was my conviction, and I was so worried that if we don't win, I was in trouble. Thank God we went. Yeah. Thank God we went, won, came back here. We, of course, government and NCS congratulated us for winning and qualifying for Afro Basket. But of course the challenge was that was July and the finals in Kigali were in August.
Yes.
So you want to pay back the debt, at the same time you need money now to go for the finals. So the whole timing wasn't good for us, because these things, at least even if you need money from government, you need to give them time. So the timing wasn't good. So now we needed double money. Each trip that we make to go and play these games costs us about not less than 100,000 US dollars. That's about 360 million shillings. So that means for us to make the trip to Afro Basket, we needed more than 700 million. And for the Afro Basket finals, it is even more costly, because there are so many other things that are involved. You're spending more time there and all that. So we presented our budgets, and government said, of course, that no, we are going to give you money for Afro Basket, but for this one you have to wait. Yes, for that date, Morocco date, you will have to wait. Now we were in a dilemma. We're like, okay, you're giving us this money, but the people who lent us money out there are seeing that we have received this money
In a sack.
in a sack. So what do we do? Do we pay the debt? Do we not pay the debt? And again, we had to make difficult decisions, as you know, the executive and said, you know what, let's pay the money lender. Take the team to Rwanda. We continue lobbying and pushing government to give us more money. And exactly that's what we did. We paid the money lender, took the team. We had to borrow again because we had to borrow for the tickets. Yeah, because we got tickets on credit, took the team to Kigali. Hotel on credit and everything on credit, because we had to beat a time, what is it called?
Isolation time.
The isolation time, because it was 7 days for quarantine, 7 days. And we were exactly left with 7 days to the tournament. So if we had not gone that particular day, then we were going to be in trouble. So we had to make a difficult decision, send the team out there without money. So we went, continued lobbying. Of course, there were some ugly, scenes on social media and all that, which I believe at a certain point also could have distracted the team. But thank God the team was focused enough. We went, won games in the group stages, beat Nigeria, #1 ranked country in Africa, qualified for the quarterfinals, narrowly lost against Cape Verde, and ended up being number 6 in the overall rankings, which is the best position ever in the history of Uganda's basketball. So all in all, for us, it was a success because it gave us the brand awareness and visibility that was much lacking, for the national team. So many people around town now, you ask them about Silverbacks and they'll tell you that's the basketball national team. But not many of them knew that before that. So I think we were successful to a certain extent. Uganda's basketball is now recognized in Africa. I mean, you mentioned the Silverbacks. So many people will tell you that they know about it. Unfortunately, for the Gazelles, our national women's basketball team, we were supposed to play the Afro Basket qualifiers in Kigali. Again, issues of funding.
So I remember they trained for 2 weeks.
Yeah, they were in camp training. Then we had to cancel it because we didn't have money. At the same time, we had the girls supposed to travel to Kigali, then the boys were supposed to go to Morocco. Here we are, government doesn't have money for any of the two teams, so we had to make a difficult decision, and we say, which one is more, likely, where is the likelihood of success? Said, okay, the boys had already started their campaign, 1 game away. The girls are just starting their campaign. Where do we go? So we said, if we are to borrow, let's borrow for the boys and qualify for Afro Basket. So we had to make a very painful decision to pull out the girls, because believe you me, this year we had one of the best teams that we have ever assembled for the girls, and I believe they should have qualified for the Afro Basket finals. Looking at the teams that were in Kigali, we had a better chance of beating all those teams and qualifying for the finals, but unfortunately they couldn't travel. And it's going to be, it has a huge impact on the development of the game on the side of the girls, because they didn't play the qualifiers, didn't play Afro Basket. They are going to be out for the next 2 years without engaging in any international, activity or basketball. And even the league has been off, so the girls have been affected more. At least for the boys, they've had some activities. So those are the challenges that we faced. But we have put all that behind our backs. Whatever happened during that period, we've put it behind our backs. We want to move forward and try to make sure that we mend the broken bridges and try to get back to our full standing, get back in good terms with NCS, the government, As you see, after that, again in November, we started the journey now for the World Cup. And we had our first window in Angola, Benguela, for the World Cup qualifiers.
That was also a hard trip to make.
Go back, same scenario. Of course, by then there was, I would say, not a good relationship between us and government, but we tried to engage them, and we got back to the same footing, and we managed to pull it off at the last minute. Quite disorganized on our end. That's why we didn't perform very well, I believe, because we could have easily beaten Mali. If this is a team that had prepared well and well facilitated, we could have beaten Mali.
Actually, we played without training.
We played without training. We didn't have even a single training day for that team. Some of the players coming from abroad arrived a few hours before the game. Yeah, they had to jump on a chopper and drop them there 1 or 2 hours before the game, just showering maybe and changing and putting on a jersey. So, but eventually we managed to grab a win against Cape Verde, which was very crucial and good for us. So we pulled through amidst all the challenges. We have our second window in July, from 1st to 3rd of July. FIBA is yet to name the venue where those games would be, but most likely probably either Mali or Nigeria, one of those countries. But we believe during that time we are going to be well prepared. We are engaging government already. They are aware, they have all the information. So we believe that we shall have a 2 weeks camp with the entire team, because it is summertime and all the foreign-based players are going to be free. Their seasons should have ended by then. We shall have enough time with them, then camp for 2 weeks and go into those games. And we believe we can win all the 3 games in that second window and then qualify for the next round of the qualifier. Having been ranked number 6 in Africa, and it is the top 5 teams that qualify for the World Cup, we believe we have a very high chance of actually for the first time making it to the World Cup. You see, the funding problem in Uganda here for almost all federations, with the exception of our brothers in football, will always be there. It is not about not having or having a good relationship with NCS. The fact is that you have 51 federations to take care of as government through NCS. But the money that is allocated to sports, the budget cannot accommodate all the 51 federations. So that is where the problem is. The problem is that government should increase the budget to make sure that at least each and every federation gets a reasonable share. Of course, it cannot be equal, but at least every federation should have something. Now, this money should be given to the federation, and you know that for the year 2022, this is my budget. This is the money that I'm getting from government. So I need to plan my activities and prioritize which one should I go for, which one should I not go for. But the current system we are operating, where you make a requisition when you have an activity, would continue, bringing up these issues, So the money problem.
Issues of the first son coming in and rescue the team.
The money problems will not go away. We just need to know that if I'm basketball, 2022, I'm getting, for example, 5 billion from government. This is my budget, this is my money. So we'll know that World Cup, tick. Afro Basket, tick, both men and women. The rest I can weigh in and see according to the budget and the monies that are available. That's the only way, because if I know that I don't have this money, you're not going to hear me making any noise, because I know this is my budget I'm supposed to plan within. To run all our national teams in every calendar year, we need 5 billion shillings. That is the seniors, men and women, under 18, under 16. Yeah. Before even including 3-on-3. But those national teams from seniors, under 18, under 16, men and women, we need at least 5 billion.
And that 5 billion now won't be catering for the local engagements? That's
Definitely. No, just the national
the
teams.
national team.
You see, the government cannot come in to support your national league. I think that would be stretching it too far. If the government is struggling to support the national teams, then you can't start talking about leagues. I want to promise all the basketball lovers out there that 2022 is going to be an exciting year in terms of Ugandan basketball, locally here and internationally. 2022 is going to be very exciting.